4G로도 충분한데 5G를 정부에서 밀어붙이고 있습니다.
과기정통부 장관이 통신사 CEO들을 불러 모았습니다. 대통령 공약인 5G 중간요금제를 논의하기 위해서입니다. 이 자리에 맞춰서 업계 1위 SK텔레콤은 월 59,000원짜리 요금제를 정부에 제출했습니다. 하지만 소비자들은 여전히 부담스럽다는 반응입니다. 4G LTE 가입자는 여전히 전체 무선통신 가입자의 3분의 2를 차지하고 있습니다. 그런데 통신사들은 고객이 찾아오면 비싼 5G 기종을 주로 보여주면서 5G 가입을 유도합니다.
5G는 감시통제 사회의 필수 요소죠.
5G is a software-defined network. It means that while it won't replace cables entirely, it could replace the need for them by largely operating on the cloud instead. This means it will have 100 times better capacity than 4G, which will dramatically improve internet speeds. For example, to download a 2-hour film on 3G would take about 26 hours. On 4G, you'd be waiting 6 minutes. And on 5G, you'll be ready to watch your film in just over 3.5 seconds. But it's not just internet capacity that will be upgraded. Response times will also be much faster. The 4G network responds to our commands in just under 50 milliseconds. With 5G, it will take around 1 millisecond, 400 times faster than a blink of the eye. Smartphone users will enjoy a more streamlined experience, but for a world that is increasingly dependent on the internet just to function, a reduction in time delay is critical. Self-driving cars, for example, require a continuous stream of data. The quicker that information is delivered to autonomous vehicles, the better and safer they can run.
커넥티드카의 필수 요소는 바로 5G입니다.
For many analysts, this is just one example of how 5G could become the connective tissue for the Internet of Things, an industry that's set to grow threefold by 2025, linking and controlling not just robots, but also medical devices, industrial equipment, and agricultural machinery. 5G will also provide a much more personalised web experience using a technique called network slicing. It's a way of creating separate wireless networks on the cloud, allowing users to create their own bespoke network. For instance, an online gamer needs faster response times and greater data capacity than a user that just wants to check their social media. Being able to personalise the internet will also benefit businesses. At big events like Mobile World Congress, for example, there is a mass influx of people in one particular area using data-heavy applications. But with 5G, organisers could pay for an increased slice of the network, boosting its internet capacity and thus improving its visitors' online experience. 5G was created years ago and has been talked up ever since. Yet it's estimated that even by 2025, the network will still lag behind both 4G and 3G in terms of global mobile connections. Its mainstream existence faces multiple hurdles. The most significant of these, of course, is cost. For 5G to work properly, however, it needs a frequency with much bigger bandwidth, which would require brand new infrastructure. Some analysts believe that the extensive building and running costs will force operators to share the use and management of the mobile network. This has been less of an obstacle for countries like China, who are taking a more coherent approach. The government, operators and local companies such as Huawei and ZTE are about to launch big 5G trials that will put them at the forefront of equipment production for the new technology. A leaked memo from the National Security Council to the White House called for a nationalised 5G network to keep the US ahead of their global competitors. White House officials dismissed the idea, but some experts predict that by 2025, nearly half of all mobile connections in the US will be 5G, a greater percentage than any other country or region. For example, AT&T pledged to start rolling out 5G later this year, but in just a handful of cities. For key industrial zones, however, it's predicted the technology will be adopted quickly, while for many in rural areas, 5G may be a long way off. But when 5G does establish itself and fulfill its supposed potential, it could even change how we get the internet at home and at work, with the wireless network replacing the current system of phone lines and cables. It may not happen overnight, but 5G is coming.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Beautiful, unethical, dangerous. You've turned every cell phone in Gotham into a microphone.
And a high-frequency generator receiver.
You took my sonar concept and applied it to every phone in the city. With half the city feeding you sonar, you can image all of Gotham. This is wrong.
I've got to find this man, Lucius.
At what cost?
The database is now key encrypted. It can only be accessed by one person.
This is too much power for one person.
That's why I gave it to you. Only you can use it.
This Spying on 30 million people isn't part of my job description.
This is an audio sample. If he talks within range of any phone in the city, you can triangulate his position.
I'll help you this one time. But consider this my resignation. As long as this machine is at Wayne Enterprises, I won't be.
When you're finished, type in your name.
남자애들의 만화 영화가 아닌 미래 사회를 보여주는 예고편이었습니다.